All right, y'all, we're back with Game of Fortune. Let's just get right into it. Is this a forest? Whoa, this is a bit much, don't you think? Well, I think I'm getting a feel for what this evolution game is going to be. I wonder if there's tall grass around. Hey, don't think about tall grass like that. Bell appeared and seemed to shoo Richard as if somehow keep him from finishing his thought. Welcome to Evolution, a simplistic game of survival. Enjoying the scenery? Well, it's a forest. How the heck do you have a forest around here? Devin, I'm a god. I can do just about whatever I want here. If you're not fond of the forest, we could try a more volcanic setting if you'd like. No, thank you. I'm not dressed for that kind of weather. Fair enough. Well, let's get right into the rules now, shall we? Ahem. As I said before, evolution is a game about survival. Just like a wild animal, you must eat, drink, sleep, and reproduce to ensure your survival. And that's what you'll be doing in this game. Reproduce? You don't mean. Don't get your scarf in a knot, Richard. I'm not expecting you to go that far. This is just a game, after all, of an abstraction of a concept that is a real thing. Though if you're really feeling up to it, I won't stop you from doing the real thing. No, thank you. I'm not that desperate for action. Great. Let's get back on track. Essentially, excuse me, each of you will have to survive 3 days out in the wildlands. You'll have to get enough food to eat, drink, water to drink, and find a nice place to sleep and reproduce. Each day you'll have limited amount of time to fulfill your needs and find a place to rest. If you fail to find a place to sleep or get enough food or water, you will die. And if you die, you lose. Super simple, ain't it? Sounds fun. I've always wanted to do a survivor like challenge. It is fun. Who doesn't love scrounging around for food, water, and shelter? However, it's not quite as simple as that. It's not? Seems simple enough to me. So you think, but before we get any further, let me give you in each a little neat little collar. Oh, no, thanks, Belle. I don't need one. Agreed. I think I'd prefer not having a collar around my neck. Oh, you two, you're so cute. Do you think you have a choice in this matter? Come here, let me put the collar on before I replace your collarbones with it. How can she say something so terrifying with such a sweet voice? Reluctantly, we walked over and let Belle attach collars to our necks. At least they weren't uncomfortable. There, see? That wasn't so bad, was it? I dare you say that you all look beautiful with that little accessory on. I'm sure that you'd look great with one too, Belle. Why don't you join us? Mm, there's no need. It's just for the players. And now each of you will take a tablet. Bell held out some light wire electronic tablets for us. We took one, not wanting to invoke Bell's ear. Go ahead and turn it on. I tapped the screen on my tablet and it lit up with faint blue glow. Devosaur, herbivore, traits, iron gut, heavy sleeper, fat storage, status, 0 out of 10 water, 0 out of 10 food, and home, none. Mate, none. What the heck is all this? Yeah, all these weird terms and stuff on my tablet. The tablet is essentially a tracker for your statuses. I'll let you know how much food and water you need to stay alive, as well as a home for to sleep in or not. As for the bolded traits, those are your abilities, passive skills that will help you or hinder you with your survival. If you tap on them, they'll give you details about what they do. Your tablet also has information about whether you're an herbivore, omnivore, or carnivore. Plus, if you click on your little name I gave you, it'll give you a cute little story that will help embolden you. I see, so essentially we'll have to ensure that we've met all of our needs when we survive. I have a question though. It's easy to understand the food and water system, but what about the home and mate system? Are we expected to look around for some place to rest? That's exactly it, Everett. Scattered around this place are a bunch of shelters that you can claim. Some are bigger, warmer, and safer than others, so you'll have to compete to get them first. So we just claim them and then they're ours? That's right. Just be careful. Someone could bully you and run you out of your home if they wanted to. A competition for resources and shelter? And what about the mate part? Guessing that we've got to pair up? If you want to, mating occurs when two tablets touch one another and stay locked for about 5 seconds. Wow, 5 seconds? I've been with some fast shooters, but that's gotta be a new record. Maria, this is not the time for innuendos. Sorry, I couldn't pass up the opportunity. Point being, once you've mated with someone, you'll each have one another's name in your tablets as your mate. And mating helps to keep us alive, right? Nope, it's just something that you can do if you want to do. There are benefits and risks involved, but I'll let you find that out for yourself. But if you choose not to mate with anyone, there won't be any penalty. You'll survive all the same as long as you have all your other needs met. Phew, that's a relief. The pressure of finding a mate is hard enough in real life. I don't want to have to deal with that here. The only other thing you need to know is that your tablet has a timer on it. When it reaches 0, you need to be in your home. Fully fed, plenty of water, and then you'll be able to sleep through the night. Then, when you wake up, it will be the next day and you have to do it all over again. Survive all 3 rounds and you win. Fail to survive and your color will kill you. How will it kill you? That's a surprise. Not a surprise, I'm eager to find out. Well, the general rules are simple. The mechanics, perhaps not so much. Well, if you got any questions, you're free to ask them. First of all, these food and water amounts are arbitrary. Arbitrary. Habituary. Bitch, I can't talk. My sugar's messed up again. How much are we supposed to eat or drink to survive? 10 berries, 10 handfuls of water, 2 pounds of meat. That number don't make sense to be indicative how much we should look for. Oh, of course the accountant would be worried about the abstractions more than pure numbers. Well, anyways, food around the area will be labeled to show you how much of it will count towards your station. I don't know what that word was. For example, you may find a batch of berries that will say feeds 3 hunger, and you will eat some berries and that's it. You'll have to go somewhere else to find more food. Water actually is a lot more simplistic. If you find a clean body of water, you just need to drink it until your tablet says you're nice and hydrated. Still a bit abstracted, but I suppose it will have to do. Hey, I got a question. How many times can we mate? Why are you so obsessed with overmating? Are we allowed to mate with different people, or is it like one kind of a thing? Well, my promiscuous little rabbit, here's how that works. If you mate with someone, then you get their name on your tablet, but if you mate again after that, then your new mate replaces them. But the old mate still keeps yours, so if you're inclined, sure, go ahead and do whatever you want. Got it, got it. Maria looked so chipper, something that really didn't seem all that important. So is that everything? No more questions? We were all silent, seeming pleased with all the answers we had gotten. Great, well then let the game get started. Good luck and good fortune to you all. She poofed away in a cloud of blue smoke and left the rest of us awkwardly standing around. Alright, who wants to mate first? That's the first thing that you want to do? Not food, not water, no shelter. You want to mate? Well, we're all here, you might as well do it. No harm, right? No benefits either. Well, at least not immediate. Everett wasn't bothering with the discussion and was instead tapping away at his tablet. Well, while you decide on that, I'm going to be looking for food, water, and shelter. Good luck. Well, his loss. If you will get this, if, if you will get if it will get you to stop talking about it, I might as well just do it. Excellent choice. So now we have touch tablets, right? Maria and Richard held out their tablets and connected them just for a moment. After a moment, their tablets pinged and they went to inspect them. All right, and that takes care of that. All right, and now Devin, it's your turn. Sure thing. Who am I pairing up with? I'm not going to waste my time with this, so you two can have fun. Gotta go take care of things. Richard swayed away slightly as he began walking, almost as if he were tipsy. You all right, Richard? I'm fine, I just feel a little exhausted. I'll manage. That's a little weird. Should we go check up on him? Nah, I think he'll be okay. Anyways, let's do this. Mating time. Let's do it. We both enthusiastically touched tablets. Neato. Well, guess we're mates. Not even sure what that means, but it'll probably be a good thing, right? I guess we'll find out later. Cool. Well, I'm gonna go and look for some food and stuff. Wanna tag along? You're inviting me? Sure, it's easier to find stuff if we're paired up than alone, right? Wouldn't we technically cover more ground if we were separated? Oh, yeah, I guess that's true. Well, want to come along anyways? The offer is tempting. It's not like this game is where we have to compete for our lives, right? We can work together at least for a while. Plus, Maria's nice, fun, and seems friendly. But going alone would be more efficient, and it might be better for me to find resources on my own. Nah, it's definitely better to go in groups like this, at least at the start. Sure, why not? Maybe we can help each other out. That's the spirit. We'll find enough food in no time. This place can't be that big after all. Well, it's a forest, Maria. It's probably a huge. You think that Belle would make an actual huge forest just for us? Maybe. Well, guess we'll see, won't we? Maria and I walked through the forest together, jumping over falling tree trunks and digging through the bushes of food. Hey Maria, we should probably take a moment to see what's on their tablets. Oh right, our traits and stuff. Yeah, let's see what that's all about. We took a moment and sat down and see what information was on their tablets. I tapped on my screen. First I see Devasaur title. A Devasaur. This large, slow creature peacefully grazes on fruits and vegetables and roots. Its large stomach is capable of holding food and storage for consumption later. It has evolved a powerful gut flora, capable of breaking down matter most plant matter and toxins, allowing it a wide range of diet. Its slow metabolism, however, causes it to sleep through most of the day, and it must take care to get enough food for when it can so it doesn't starve later. Provides 7 meat if eaten. Meat? What the heck is that about? That's a very strange description. Okay. On to the herbivore part, though that should be self-explanatory. Herbivore. This creature can sustain itself on fruits, vegetables, nuts, leaves, and other such plant matter. Cannot digest meat. Alright, that checks out. So now let's go on to the traits. Iron Gut. Iron Gut allows a creature to drink water and eat food that is toxic, rotten, or otherwise contaminated. I don't want to eat rotten food if I can help it, but I guess if I get desperate, it'll come in handy. Heavy sleeper causes the creature to sleep through a quarter of the next day. When they rest, nothing short of a serious attack will wake them. If they are awoken from their heavy sleeps, early, they will feel extremely lethargic and have difficulty moving throughout the day unless they rest again. What? This is just a penalty. I'm going to have to miss out on a quarter of a day when I go to sleep. Even if I get someone to wake me up, I won't be at my best. Alright, I need this last one to be good. Fat storage allows the creature to store extra food on the next day. They can store up to half of the maximum needed for the next day. Oh, this one seems pretty handy actually. I can basically get a head start on the next day by eating extra. Now that I think about it, the strategy for me to be is get as enough food as possible since I can store extra for the next day. It balances out, so I'll have to sleep in, and because of Iron Gut, I can basically eat whatever I need as long as it's a plant, right? This kind of matches the description of a Devasaur, I suppose. Kind of interesting how it feels like an actual strategy a real animal would have to use to survive. Alright, I need to read up on my traits and stuff. I think I got a bit. Alright, I read up on my traits and stuff, and I think I got a bit of a strategy in mind. Just need to read all mine. I'm a mare. I don't know what that is. Like a Maria Raptor? That's my guess. I'm an omnivore. And my trees traits are early bird. I wake up at a quarter of the day earlier. Fast metabolism. Foods are halved because I burn through the energy. I cannot read. Cuddlebug, I can't rest properly unless there's someone else with me. But when I do rest, I get to add half of my partner's food count to my own. That's a strange set of traits. I guess the idea is that either I have to get up early to get more food or find someone who's eaten a lot that I can partner with them. Like a roommate that eats a lot of your food in the fridge. That sounds like a terrible roommate. Yeah, but I don't think I steal food. I just sort of like get half of what you have, which should always be 5, right? Since you always need 10 to be able to survive. Well, actually, I told Maria about my plates and how I was able to store extra food. I see, so since you can hold extra food, in theory, if I were to rest with you, then I could get, what, 7 food? Then I'd only need to get 3 food and I'd be set. Don't try and make me do all the work. I won't. Anyways, let's get looking for something to eat. Yeah, let's see what we can find. Also, how much time do we have? Maria checked her tablet for a second. Looks like we got about an hour. An hour to find food, water, and a place to sleep? Doesn't seem like a lot. Well, let's not dawdle then. Actually, there's a tree right here that looks like it has some type of fruit on top. Let's see. We walked up to the tree. There was a wooden sign right in front of it. Starby fruit, a sweet yet tart fruit that's full of nutrients, fills 3 hunger. Looks like a good start if you ask me. Yeah, there's just one problem. Those fruits are way high up and we don't have any way to get them. Well, gotta start thinking like animals that we are. Well, according to my tablet, a Devasaur is a large and slow animal that grazes peacefully. Sloths are slow, they can get up trees. Maria, I'm telling you now that I cannot climb trees. Then I guess the lease is up to me. I'll toss some down for you to catch, alright? You sure that you'll be okay climbing up that? It looks really high. I've climbed the rock walls, I'm sure I'll be fine. Okay, just be careful. Maria looked around to see the tree and began to straddle up the tree and then inched her way up bit by bit until she got onto the branches. I was surprised at how easily she was able to lift herself up, but eventually she stood up on one of the branches. See, told you I could do it. Just be careful not to fall down. You still got a ways to go before you get to the actual fruit. Not too far up now. It's just easier now that there are branches on to hold on to. She kept climbing up into the canopy of trees and I could barely see her. Maria, are you up there? Yep, heads up by the way, fruit's coming down. I didn't get much of a chance to react as an orange and star-shaped fruit pelted me in the forehead. Ow, watch where you're throwing those things. Sorry, I can't really see that well. There's leaves and branches. Just a few more. I watched carefully as more and more fruits began to fall from the sky. I tried my best to catch a few, but it's better to just let them fall on the ground. They didn't seem to splatter at all. Alright, that ought to be enough, right? I mean, there's a few fruit down here, so it should be enough. Alright, I'm on my way down. After a few seconds, I saw Maria slowly climb back down the tree. See, I told you. And just by speaking, she jinxed herself as her footing slipped while she was making her way down. Shit. Don't worry, I've attempted to catch her in the fall, but it was really I don't know what that, I really don't know what that, I don't know how to say that word. Sure, I caught her in my arms, but she came down so quick and fast, it was like she catered into me and we both fell into the ground. Ow. Yikes, guess I ought to be more careful. You alright, Devin? Peachy, it's not like a mass of pure muscle didn't just crash into me. You're flattering me. I ain't pure muscle. I got a bit of fat just like everyone else. Right, that made you landing into me a lot more pleasant. Well, let me help you up. She pulled me back up onto my feet and then dusted herself off. No injuries, everything feels good? I paced around a bit to make sure there was nothing broken, bruised, or otherwise harmed. Nope, I think I'm good. Great, then let's eat. Maria tossed me a few fruit and I began to bite into hers, and she begins to bite into hers. Kind of tastes like a mix between a mango and a pineapple. Yeah, it's sweet but tart. I kind of love it though. Lucky us, guess we found the perfect food to get us energized. Speaking of, as we ate, I look over my tablet and check my status. 3 out of 10. Looks like we got our fill. My tablet says 3 out of 10. Well, I only got 1.5, which is the pain of having a fast metabolism. Guess that means we shouldn't linger too long. What a shame, I really liked eating these. Maybe this would make a good drink, or if I chopped it up, it could use put in a fruit salad. You got a good sense of taste, huh? Must come with being a cook. Well, I like to think that I'm decent when it comes to making food and drinks. One of my few redeeming qualities. Oh, don't talk like that. I'm sure you got a lot of great things going for you. For starters, you're super cute. Thanks, if only having a cute face was enough for me to survive off of. I'm not exactly model material. I'm sure that you could find a way. If you wanted to be a model, all you had to do is show the world just how beautiful and sexy you can be. I can think that you could pull it off for sure. I felt myself getting hot and squeamish over Maria's compliments. That's real nice of you to say. First time anyone's ever said something like that about me. Really? Not even Clyde? The guy's either super bashful or he's blind. Well, I just don't think he's interested in me like that. You think so? I shrugged. I don't know, really. It's sometimes hard to get into the idea of what he's thinking. Sometimes he's really sarcastic and funny, and other times he seems so lost in thought that he's in another planet. And then sometimes he gets real quiet, like he wants to say something but can't find the words to say it. It's kind of sad to see him when he's like that, though. Wish I could do something to help him out. What? Does he have issues or something? I'm not sure if I call them issues. He just gets down on himself sometimes. He's not where he wants to be in life right now, and I think he considers himself a failure. Sounds to me like he could use a pick me up, alright. Yeah, honestly, he's a good guy. He can be friendly and funny when he's not in a sour mood. I just wish there was some times where I could help him. You're a good friend, you know that? Here. Here we are in a death game, worrying about mental health of your friend when your own life is on the line. Well, no need to get bashful about it. Clyde's lucky to have someone like you on his side. Sometimes I felt like the other way around, that I was lucky to have him around. I think I see some more food up ahead. Let's get the move on. We walked further out towards an opening in the forest, towards a large meadow. There was a large field of berry bushes, and it wasn't enough for us to fill ourselves on, so I don't know what would count. Oh heck, we gotta be able to get everything we need right here, right? It sure looks like it. We walked over towards some of the berry bushes. As we did, we saw a few chickens strutting around the bushes, pecking at the various berries. There are chickens here too? This is one weird place, but I'm not complaining. I love chicken. Maria went up and grabbed one of the chickens, but it began to run away. Ah, so you want to make this chase, huh? Alright, I'm game. Why are you so bothering to chase a chicken? It's not like you can eat it without preparing it and cooking it, and you can't do that in less than an hour, I can tell you that much. Oh, I guess you wouldn't know since you're an herbivore. But my tablet says that any animals that I catch automatically turn into food for me. Really? Yep, must be one of the perks of being able to eat meat. I can just grab one of these chickens and it'll count towards my total food. Do you know how much? Maria squinted at the chicken as they continued to walk. I want to save real quick, y'all. If you look a little closely at the birds, you can see a bit of an imprint on them, and it looks like a number. I think it's 4. Well, that would go a ways in getting you fed. Yep, that's plus the berries, and I should be good to go. So, Maria began to chase some of the wild chickens while I simply began to pick some of the berries from the bushes nearby. Most of the berries seemed to be harmless. A handful would only give me about one food's worth, but the variety of berry bushes nearby meant that I was able to get quite a number of them. I eventually gathered a small collection of them and piled them up to eat. It made a good snack while watching Mira struggle to catch one of those darn chickens. You stupid birds, you can just... She dove after one of the chickens and it leaped out of her reach. Damn it! Keep trying, you almost got that one. Ha, you try catching one of these damn birds. I am a herbivore, so I don't have to. But if you're going to challenge me, how can I say no? So I picked up a handful of berries and held them out towards the nearest chicken, which seemed to be cautiously walking over to me. before taking a few pecks of my hand to eat some of the berries. I carefully put my arm closer to the chest until the bird walked closer to me. And once it was there, I grabbed it with both hands. Ha! Got it. What? You're telling me all I had to do was bait it? It's a lot easier than catching them, isn't? Just as I was explaining myself, the chicken I was holding poofed away into a cloud of blue smoke, and in my hands was a box of fried chicken. Did that chicken just turn into fast food? I guess so. Belle's really got to give a warning when she's doing these weird magical transformations, but who am I to complain? Maria grabbed the box out of my hand and began to chow down. How's it taste? Bland. Guess Belle's still got a ways to try and make decent magic food. You want to try one? She held out a drumstick for me. Can I? Maria shrugged. Can't hurt, can it? Probably not. I took the drumstick out of her hand and bit into it, and a horrid taste filled my mouth as if it was biting into a bloody sludge. It didn't taste like chicken at all. Pfft. Yuck, that's disgusting. Is it? Yeah, it tasted horrible. I don't think I'd ever eaten something that bad. Maybe you really can't eat meat then. Sorry about that. Oh well, more for me. I tried to get that taste out of my mouth by eating berries that I had collected over time, and I immediately felt the relief of the various tasting overpower whatever was there before. So what kind of berries are these? A variety. Some are nonsense names: glamberries, pepperberries, seed bombs, glitter flesh. That doesn't sound all that good, to be honest. They taste alright though, so I think they're safe to eat. They don't offer much in terms of food content though. Altogether, I think they're worth more, about 7 foods, so it'll be enough to fill me up. Alright, then I think I'll help myself to some too. She began to eat some of the berries that I had piled up. Heh, this game is a cakewalk. There's plenty of food. I only get half from the chicken, so that means I'd get 2, and then a half. 7 is 3.5, which would put me at 7 food, I think, which is more than enough if I get to cuddle with you at the end of the night. Yeah, I'm sure that you're looking forward to that, huh? What is wrong with wanting to cuddle with a cute girl? Sorry about my dog. He's just gonna continue barking. I'm gonna try to talk louder. No, and the feeling's mutual. See, look at you being such a charmer. Patoo. She suddenly spat out the few berries and held her stomach. Ugh, one of those didn't taste right. Really? They tasted fine to me. I began to taste a few of them. Most of them are pretty sweet. This green one is a bit bitter, but otherwise, it's okay. Maria cautiously bit into one of the green berries and recoiled as she spit it out. Yeah, that one doesn't taste right. Ugh, now I don't feel that good. I looked carefully at the berry and that went back to the bushes and checked, see if I missed some details that I idly picking. Let's see. Pepperberry berries, slightly bitter berries with a sweet aftertaste, contains a toxic element that will cause death if not diluted with heavy water intake. Shit, how did I not see this before? So it's poisonous? Shit, I'm sorry, Maria, I didn't know that it would get you poisoned. It's alright. You said that we just have to dilute it with water, right? We just need to get water anyways, so this will be a nice motivator for us. Right. Even though she said that I couldn't help but feel guilty that I'd have hazardly gotten her sick. We stood up and started looking around for some source of water. As we walked, we could hear the sound of coursing water nearby. Look, the water. There's a river down there. Perfect. All we have to do is find a way to get down there. Ugh. Maria clutched her stomach again. This is some fast-acting poison. It hasn't even been that long and my gut's killing me. It's alright, we'll make it. Just find a way to get down there. Looking for water? We turned our heads to see Everett resting near one of the trees, idly biting what looks to be a hunk of meat. Everett, great timing. Do you know a safe way to get down the river? Yeah, you should be able to find a slope if you go down that way. It will lead you towards a large lake where the river empties out. Plenty of food down there too if you need it. Fish and fruit, depending on your needs. That's great. All we need to do is water right now. I see. Well, in that case, you know where to go. Oh, and if I may ask, no time. We gotta hurry. Sorry, Everett. I see. Well, I suppose I'll see you later? I didn't bother giving a response as Maria and I rushed towards the water. Wait, there's one thing that you need to know about the lake. We made it down towards the shore of the lake. The water looked beautiful and more importantly clean. We're almost there, Maria. Great, Maria held a hand over her mouth and coughed before she fell down to her knees. Shit, don't worry, Maria. We'll get right there. I tried to carry Maria over towards the edge of water, pulling her towards the shallow ends so she could dip her head towards the water if she needed to. Here, drink up. Maria carefully lowered her head into the water, slurping up some water from the lake. It's weird, primal, to not drink from a cup or even from our hands, but being desperate made you ignore those kind of things, especially when you're dying of poison. As Maria drank, I carefully looked around and got a better bearing of my surroundings. The area around the lake looked strange. There were a few areas on the ground that had dents and grooves, and someone or something had dragged along them or slid them. There were all over the place, some leading towards one of the part of the lakes, and others seemingly stopping right in the area that we're in. It was cool, pleasant, and while the water was mostly clear, there were a few weeds obscured the view of the water. Every so often I would see little minnows and other fish darting around. This is probably the best place for smaller fish to hide from its bigger predators. I turned to check on Maria. Maria, how are you feeling? Judging by how she was, now cupping water in her hands and breathing a bit steadily, I would assume the water treatment had been working. She simply nodded her head and gave me a good thumbs up as she kept drinking more and more water. Well, now that things weren't as urgent, I could probably take a moment to drink some water myself, or I could probably start looking for a place to rest. After all, we all know where the water is. We still need to find some shelter. Finding shelter. We knew where the water was, so finding shelter was probably the next best thing. I walked off the shore and looked around to see if there was any place that might make a good place to rest. You're not getting a drink? I'll come back for water later. We need to find shelter first. I checked my tablet to see how much time we had left. A little more than half an hour before the end of the day. We're about halfway through the day. Huh, I guess we are, aren't we? Maria looks up towards the sky and pointed towards the sun. The sun's moving pretty fast. Soon there won't be daylight. Got any ideas where we might able to find shelter? Well, if we're meant to be like animals, maybe we're just supposed to look for a place where animals sleep. Like a cave? Yeah, like a cave. Probably a good bet, or a burrow, or maybe even a hollowed out tree trunk. Hmm, guess it'd be some big enough for us. Guess it'd be big enough for us to sleep through the night, right? Right, so it should be easy enough to spot. Alright, let's try and find somewhere to rest in about 20 or so minutes. That way we can still double back to get water before time's up. Sounds good, let's do it. We started looking around for a place to rest, and soon we found a large cave near one of the rivers. This spot ought to do, don't you think? Looks spacious enough. There's a sign here. Comfortably houses two creatures. Check your tablet and see what it says about your home. I checked my tablet and sure enough it updated. Status. Food, 10 out of 10. Water, 0 out of 10. Home, cave, mott. Cave mate, mott. I said mott. Maria. Looks like it updated and this is my home now. Great, and it's not even far from the river. It's like the perfect location. Yep, well, since we got that taken care of, I guess I'll go and get some water to drink and maybe some extra food as well. Might as well fill up on some extra food before the day ends. I'll stay here and make things extra homey. Alright, you do that and I'll be back soon. I left the cave and walked over towards the lake, helping myself to enough water until I needed to survive. With all that, I should be able to continue on the next day. Now, to find some extra food, I walk around the shore of the lake this for a bit to see if I could find something tasty. Eventually, I found these large teal fruits that look similar to melons. Hydromelon. This water-packed fruit is extremely filling and full of nutrients. Fills 5 hunger. Well, that's awfully convenient now, isn't it? I plucked the heavy fruit off the vine and bit into it. It tasted similar to a nectarine, but a lot messier, and the teal goopy drippings were hard to wipe off my hands. Of course, I was able to wash my hands in the nearby water and make my way back over towards the cave. But on the way there, I saw Everett passing. He spotted me and waved with a pleasant smile. Greetings, Evan. I take it you got a good drink by now? Yep, more than enough to eat and sleep for a day. I was about to head over to home now, actually. Maria and I are sharing a place. Found a place to rest in. That's good. It'd be terrible to die on a full belly just because you couldn't find somewhere safe to sleep. Did you find somewhere to rest? I did. It's not exactly comfortable, but there's an underground burrow that I was able to nestle myself into. He dusted off a bit of dirt and gravel from his shoulders as he spoke. I can't imagine you fitting into a small hovel in the ground. To be fair, it's not quite as bad as it sounds. It's roomy enough for one person, and considering my size, I don't think it would do well to share anyways. It could be worse. I could be like Richard and have nestled myself into a tree trunk. What? Hard to believe, isn't it? When I found the man sleeping inside a hollowed out tree. Almost like a snake in a log. That's strange. Why is he sleeping at a time like this? Doesn't he need to get food or water like the rest of us? I can't say. When I tried to wake him up, he barely moved. Perhaps he already got enough and he was just sleeping early. Maybe, but he was acting a little weird earlier today. Huh, I see. Well, hopefully he'll be fine. Anyways, I'll catch up with you later. I have to get back to my little hovel and prepare for tomorrow. Right, I'll see you around, Everett. Until next time. I checked my tablet to see how much time we have left in the day, about less than 10 minutes, which was more than enough time for me to get back to the cave, even when the sun was starting to set. I wasted no more time and made it back over towards the cave when Maria had made a makeshift bed for us. Just some leaves, weeds, and other plants made matter that would be better cushioning. Welcome back, honey. Wow, that's quite the warm welcome. Would you prefer something cold and harsh? Nah, this is fine. I walk over towards the bed and flop down, feeling a wave of fatigue over me. It hasn't even been an hour and I feel exhausted. That can't be normal, right? Well, probably not. We are in a weird god realm. Maria laughed as she laid down beside me and smiled. Almost feels like we're not fighting for our lives, doesn't it? Almost. Didn't help that you had to remind me. Sorry, I didn't mean to bring it up, something scary like that. It's just, I want you to feel safe, you know. Safe? You want me to feel safe? That must seem a little strange to hear from a stranger, right? Well, I won't lie, it does sound a little weird, especially since we supposedly only one of us can survive this whole thing. Right. Well, even if that's the case, I don't want you to suffer through this, and I don't want anyone to take advantage of you. I bet that there will be times where you'll be scared, desperate, and despair ridden, looking for hope and any promise that someone will make to you. Just be real careful about that, okay? Some of these people here, they don't have your best interests at heart no matter what they say. You sound like you're talking from personal experience. Sad to say that I am. All those people involved with the Digits of Eden, they're nothing but manipulative crooks. They promise you all these great things that they can fix your life and give you everything that you could ever want. They never tell you the cost of its absolute devotion and I don't know that word. Well, they do have a big cult vibe. Sharp eye, that's because they are. Well, guess I was right to be wary of them. You are, and I'm just telling you all this because there's no guarantee that I'll be there to warn you if they try and make a move on you. As much as I'd like to stick by your side the whole way through this, I've got my own goals and wish that I need to fulfill too. But I'd feel like shit if I didn't at least give you a parting warning, you know? Alright, that's fair. What exactly should I watch out for? Well, I already said to be careful of the Digits of Eden people. That would be Everett, Teresa, Kishi, and Zeph. Really, all four of them are involved with the Digits of Eden? To varying degrees. Grant was at some point too, but, well, I think he left. You don't have to worry about him. I'd say that Zeph's probably the least problematic out of here, but he's probably just in this because of his girlfriend is here. I'm not sure about Teresa. I think she's directly involved, but she's working with Everett all the same, so she's still dangerous. Is Everett and Kishi I'd watch for? It's Everett and Kishi that I'd watch for. Kishi? But she seems so chill. She probably is, but all the same, you should watch out for her. She's probably trying to lure you into the Digits of Eden with the outlandish promises. I mean, you two are probably around the same age. If I had to guess, she's famous, she's pretty, she's charismatic. If she sold you on the Digits of Eden, you'd be more willing to listen to her music, don't you think? When you put it that way, you make it sound like she's super influential. Well, she's a rock star. She's got sway and influence over a lot of people. And let's be honest with ourselves, she didn't become famous simply because she was good, but because she had connections. Just be careful around her, that's all I'll say. But really, the person you should watch out the most for is Everett. The guy had years of practice in convincing people that everything he says is the truth and knows how to influence others when he wants to. He's a smooth talker and he knows just the right words to say to get on your good side. I couldn't deny that Everett did have a way with words that made him seem approachable. Even with his burly and intimidated stature, he's never seemed hard to talk to or all that scary. Still, it wouldn't hurt to exercise some caution. You know, I get that they're a weird and creepy cult that pulled me and my friend into this death game. That alone would be enough for me to say that I don't like them. But it sounds to me that despite all that, they'd still all try and recruit me to their cause or something. Maria nodded her head slowly and yawned. That's exactly it. They prey on desperate people. When you're feeling low, helpless, and terrified, that's when they'll offer you the world. If and when that happens, don't take it. Okay. Thanks for the warning, but how are you going to offer me any how are they going to offer me anything if they're going to be dead? I mean, think about it. If only one of us can survive this whole thing, anything they can promise me sounds kind of pointless. And how do you know all about them anyways? Were you tricked by them or something? I want to believe you, Maria. I do, but you seem like you only want what's best for me. But I'm still just confused about all this. Really, all I care about is finding some way for Clyde and I to survive all this. That's fair. It pays to be skeptical. But tell you what, I'll fill you in on as much as I can next time, seeing as my eyes are getting so heavy I can barely keep them open anymore. Yeah, exhaustion seems to take a firm hold of us. As our eyes slowly closed, we drifted off into heavy sleep. Mm. My eyes fluttered open slightly, but I felt an extreme chill across my body. Oh, why is it so cold all of a sudden? I sat up from my bed and looked around. Maria was gone, and I looked out of the cave and could only feel a cold wind blowing. Looked around and noticed my tablet was glowing. I picked it up and inspected it. First thing I noticed was that I only had 45 minutes to take care of all my needs, probably due to the heavy sleep trait, which was probably explain why Maria was gone. No point in waiting for me to wake up after all. Next time I checked on my status, Devastator, herbivore traits, iron gut, light sleeper, generous. These weren't my traits last time. I pressed on the traits to see exactly what the new ones were. I don't know how to say that. The gentle creature evolved with ancient Devasaur, creating mating with the Maripator, I don't know, caused the species to develop a more gentle and generous lifestyle in exchange for the fat storing capabilities. In addition, to help watch against various predators, the Devasaur became more sensitive to sounds when sleeping, provides 5 meat when eaten. Okay, so I'm kind of generous, gentle creature now. I clicked on the other's traits to see what was going on. Light sleeper, when resting, the creature will awaken when another creature enters their home. Doesn't that imply that someone would be entering my home when they're resting? Is that even possible? Well, whatever. It's better than losing a quarter of the day. Now, for the other one, generous, a creature can share food they've eaten with other creatures, subtracting it from their own total. To share food, simply touch tablets with one another creature, select generous trait, and hold, as for many seconds, as much as food as you want to share. I guess this is nice if I want to share food with others, but isn't it just a downgrade from what I had before? Being able to store extra food was useful. Speaking of, I checked on my other parts of the status. Food, 5 out of 10. Water, 0 out of 10. Home, cave, mate, none. Looks like I still got all the food from my fat storage, so I guess the new traits only take effect when we start the next day. Well, it worked out, which means it's time to go. Wow, it's time to get going and find food and water. Should be easy enough at least, right? I walked out of the cave, but I wasn't prepared for what I saw. The snow? No wonder it's so fucking cold. It went from a forest to a frozen wasteland. I shivered and pulled my hoodie up. Ugh, well, at least the water won't be an issue. But how the heck am I supposed to find food? Well, I guess there's nothing to do but start searching. I started my search by seeing if there were any fruit trees or berry bushes nearby, and unfortunately for me, there weren't any. At least none of that I could see. Alright, y'all. And with that, I will catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.